What is up, everybody? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies. This is our spoiler review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, the newly released MCU movie from Marvel Studios. I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Jake Berlin. We're here to talk spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp. So if you haven't seen the movie, you probably shouldn't watch this video. We're going to talk about what we liked, what maybe we didn't like, and what this might mean for the overall MCU. So Jake, I didn't really ask you yet. How do you feel about the movie overall?
Spoiler, everyone dies. That is Marvel's new trend.
Shoot, I
everyone
guess so.
dies. No, so obviously we're excited for these type of movies. Ant-Man and the Wasp. For me personally, while Ant-Man may have an effect on a lot of people, Wasp is the character I've been waiting for years.
Yeah.
Not just that, Evangeline Lilly, and you know this, but she is one of my favorite working actresses. Ever since her days as Kate on Lost, and now the fact that she's in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, bringing this character to life, it is pretty much the main reason why I was so excited for this movie. And I would say it lives up to the hype. It is a fun, enjoying, just chaotic ride, and the cool thing about it is that it's so different from the first one. It is a completely
I was thinking that
movie.
while watching the movie. It
and
really
so, like,
is.
Because it's it's kind of a because it's a comedy genre. It still has that very much heist feel like the first one did. Yeah. You can kind of get into a trend with these type of movies of being the same thing over and over again, a la Deadpool 2 to a few people. This is so different from the first one that it makes it that much more enjoyable. And so, while I did have some things I didn't like about it, I would say that it very much lived up to the hype for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is very different from the first one. And, well, it's not exactly a heist movie. You have this MacGuffin, the lab, really, that everybody's after. It's one of those movies where not just two parties, three different parties are after this, and every, 10 minutes it switches somebody's possession, and they're all chasing after it. I thought that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a great family film. It really is.
You keep saying that.
I know.
Ant-Man is the family franchise for Marvel.
It really is. Like I was telling you earlier, you can take a 5-year-old to this, no problem. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I liked it as much as the first one. The thing that elevates it over the first one in one aspect is Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. Because she was great in the first one, but she was just her character. And like you, I was very much looking forward to the Wasp in general, whether it was Janet Van Dyne or Hope Van Dyne, which we got now. She was my favorite part in the trailer when they're throwing the knives at her and she's running across the knife. Her action scenes were amazing. We didn't get a lot of action with Ant-Man himself, if you think about it, which I was a little bit disappointed about, but her action more than well made up for it.
And she was the first one to pop up in the movie, the scene from the trailer where she's in the hotel lobby, she's fighting these dudes. Kitchen, it's the main opening action-wise to this movie, and it goes on for a solid 5 minutes. It keeps going. That
might be my favorite part of the movie,
and it
honestly.
showcases her abilities in full, because it's not just her punching and kicking. It's not just her using the blasters. It's full-on throwing the salt or shrinking and unshrinking, all this type of stuff going on.
The wings, man, and the blasters. It's so cool.
I'm so happy that, yes, it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it lived up to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, absolutely. I think this was more her movie than his in a way. And it kind of had to, because the first movie was mostly him. I loved their chemistry together. I think that's one of the main things that made this movie. But arguably, the second best part of the movie is him and his daughter. They were so cute in the first movie,
Cassie,
and it just elevated in this movie.
Well,
their dialogue together was so
great.
The
opening scene with them together when they built that thing in this house.
That was amazing.
It was so much fun.
And sliding down the stairs,
and
that was so cool.
She's obviously the reason why he's doing this, and you find out through the movie that he's hesitant to go back to this world, but she's like, you can do it. Go be yourself.
He's torn. He's like, do I help Hank and her, or do I protect my daughter or whatever? But she gives him permission to go and do this, and I thought that was great. The side characters, Luis was back. Luis killed it again. I don't think he stole the show like last one.
I don't know, man.
There's a few moments where he did.
The truth serum scene where he starts going off on a binge like he does in the first movie, but one of the funniest moments of the movie is when he does the Wasp.
Oh, that was great.
He rolls up with the car.
I didn't think he was going to do the storytelling thing again. And
then they have to. They have to.
I thought he was going to do it earlier in the movie when he interacts with Hank, but then they did it later on. That was great, but they didn't do it too much. They just did it once, and that was perfect. What did you think about Ghost?
I liked her because she wasn't the main villain. She wasn't
really a villain. She was an antagonist.
To be quite honest, there wasn't really a villain in this movie.
Not really. I mean, if you want to call Walton Goggins
there
the
were
villain,
there were people
really.
getting in their way from their ultimate goal. This girl, she is just wanting to fix herself, basically.
Exactly.
I love the twist of Lawrence Fishburne's character.
Yeah, that was cool.
Being involved with it, because it kind of came out of nowhere, and it came early. It didn't let us think
the
about
third
it.
act, and
exactly
portrayed them.
It let us kind of just mold it over in the beginning of the film. I thought her powers were really cool. It's different. It's not shrinking tech. It's not tech at all. This is literally her.
She's dying.
Exactly,
and
so
because of that, she has these abilities.
And it's a really cool thing on screen because she's basically flickering everywhere. I like the way it kind of ends as well, with Janet Van Dyne coming back and fixing her. I thought they used Michelle Pfeiffer's character perfectly. She did not need to be in this movie the entire time.
Yeah, no.
Them finding her at the end was absolutely perfect. Michelle Pfeiffer will be back in this universe. I cannot wait to see it.
Well, we'll see.
I will say this, and because I want to make sure that we get to it, I absolutely despise and basically hate the post-credit scene. I flat out hate the post-credit scene. I thought it was the completely wrong move on Marvel's point.
I agree. I'm fine with Hope and Hank disappearing in a way. I know you want Wasp in Avengers 4, but is there room for her? I don't know.
I think Hope should have stayed alive. I really do.
I'm upset that Janet disappeared. She was alive for like one day. That's the one that gets to me the most. I think the Wasp is going to be around for a while. So I'm okay with that.
I think she will be as well, but we've been teased with her before.
True.
So many times, and it's just...
No, it was so shocking that all three of them disappeared at the end. That was crazy.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Hope's... obviously, Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer disappear, and Hope have that grief on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Because it would have had a major impact.
Well, that would have been so cool for them to go.
Exactly. Obviously, the question of how does he get out of the quantum realm?
I've been thinking about that. I think it has to be Goliath and Ghost who get him out, because who else knows how to get him out who's alive? I mean, Tony Stark's not going to walk up and be like, "Oh, let me let you out."
It's who knows where he even is. Like, nobody knows where he is at this point.
Possibly he just goes straight from the quantum realm into time travel. That's very possible. No, because then he has to find out that they disappeared.
Well, and here's what I started thinking of. Because he's in the quantum realm, because this giant question from Infinity War is, why did those specific Avengers stay alive? Yeah. It's basically the main group, right? Did Scott not disappear because he was in the realm?
I was thinking about that. Did that prevent him from disappearing? Was he not an option to disappear?
And I wonder if Avengers 4 is going to show whether or not his daughter disappeared.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I think that's very possible.
Dude, that moment, if we find out that she disappeared...
Dude, that would have been super dark. That ending was crazy. That post-credit scene was crazy. Overall, I really liked this movie. There was a few things that I was iffy about. Like, Walton Goggins was just like a cartoon character. But what do you expect, though? Like, it wasn't
I love Walter Goggins, but so many movies are using him in the wrong way.
Well, they use him the same exact way.
It is ridiculous.
He has no depth. He just wants money, and that's it. Like Tomb Raider, he just wants money.
Tarantino is the only guy to ever use him right.
Yeah, definitely.
Ever. And figure this out, because Walter Goggins can be the best villain guy ever.
Dude, he really could.
He could be the best villain guy ever.
He's a great actor, and he's perfect to play a villain, but he was just a cartoon character to me, honestly.
He was just, like you said earlier, it was a group of 3 groups that were trying to get this building. His group wasn't necessary.
I didn't really care. I was like,
get them out of there. It didn't mean anything.
I was interested in Ghost, because Ghost wants it so she doesn't have to die.
The question for me is, who was he working for? That's what I wonder.
That's a good point.
I was wondering the entire time, okay, are they going to reveal who he's working for? But, I mean, obviously we don't know.
Maybe we'll get to that in a sequel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, now that I think about this, sometimes you have to talk about a movie to realize how much you like it. I really like it. I don't think it's as good as the first one, because you know me, I love the first one.
It is better than the first one.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with anyone. For me, I got to think about it. I got to see it again.
It's solely based on Wasp for me,
too. I agree with you. Like I told you, if you were going to argue with me why it's better, you got to bring up Wasp, because she is so great. She's such a great character. I love that she's a trained fighter, because Ant-Man, Scott Lang just kind of improvises and does whatever he can with the suit. She can actually fight. which I love.
I'm gonna be Wasp for Halloween.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna make Gabby be Ant-Man.
Dude, that would be so cool. Yeah, I think this is a success. Another hit for Marvel.
100%.
We'll see how it does box
100%.
office wise. Man, let's just talk another second. Like, how do you think this is gonna tie into Avengers 4?
I mean, it obviously ties directly into it.
Yeah.
I think that
They disappear.
obviously, the ending with them, they're dusting. So Hope, Hank, and Janet, they dusted. Scott is in the quantum realm. We don't know who else dusted in this movie.
That's very true.
How does he get out, first of all? How does the quantum realm play into it? I think that Scott or someone involved with Scott is going to have a major role in time travel. Probably Tony Stark, obviously, but the question is, how does he get out, and how does it all play into it? Because we've heard recently that Ant-Man and the Wasp ties directly into the Avengers 4, and so it's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of comes together. I have a feeling that Avengers 4 is going to open with him, because he's the only one that's kind of in limbo.
How does he get out?
He's the only one, other than Hawkeye, he's the only one in limbo.
I think Lawrence Fishburne is going to be in Avengers 4.
I mean, he's the one of the most brilliant guys
on quantum realm. If Hank Pym's not around, I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope so.
I'm so excited.
That would be interesting
for Avengers 4, and maybe Captain Marvel. Some post-credit scene gives us an answer to that.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is awesome. It's so enjoyable,
complete
very
success.
fun. Take your whole family to go see it. All right, well, that's going to do it for our short spoiler review. We're going to put out a spoiler breakdown in the next couple days. Maybe get Brian and Keith on that as well. Thanks for joining me, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Apocalypse Movies. Subscribe if you like all things film, and check us out on iTunes as well. We'll be posting stuff on there. Thanks for listening.